What is going on? It's Monday and Two Dudes with Attitudes is live. What is happening in this world? What is happening?
Man, the world is it gave me something to look forward to though on a Monday. Normally Mondays are kind of meh, and now the world has something to enjoy.
Yeah, so, our faces and beautiful voices. Either
That's
way.
Right.
Somebody decided to go to Boston and eat some Dunkin' Donuts and watch some Celtic games, although they lost after he didn't watch them. And then, and how do you like them apples? These apples? What was that, Ben Affleck? How do you like them apples? What did he say?
Dem apples. Yeah.
Dem apples, right? That's what that was, that line. I forgot. That movie's good. But anyway, what's up, y'all? We are making up for last week. We missed Friday. So we are doing our AEW Friday episode on Monday. And then Wednesday and Friday, we're going to be right back to normal again. So I know everyone wants to talk about Backlash right now, but get over it. We talking AEW.
That's right.
So we're not going to talk about the Rampage that just happened, though. We are going to save that for our Friday episode. So we're talking about the Rampage that happened before that. So you're welcome for reminding you of that phenomenal episode. And then we're going to talk about Dynamite that happened about 5 days ago. So we are going to fill in on that. And then we're going to do our segment and have some fun. I have my acclaimed hat on and my Oh Scissor Me Daddy Ass shirt because I'm ready to be scissored.
Let's
my
co-host.
Let's do it. we scissored when we saw each other in real life.
Of course we did.
So. Hand scissored.
Yeah.
Not the other scissoring that we're not allowed to talk about. But anyway.
We just kicked off.
Yeah. They're like, what? I don't know why I did a mic when I have a mic, but yeah. What did you say? But anyway, yeah, man. So, let's hear about your Boston trip before you decided to go to work and make money and stuff. So
of course.
Yeah. So how was Boston?
It was nice. It was. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be back in the friendly confines of North Carolina, where I'm born and raised. But it was nice. Everything's expensive up there. So
is it?
Yeah, it was just. But I got to see the Celtics play. I got to go to a Red Sox game.
That's awesome.
It was that was a lot of fun. Those were all a lot of fun. So, it was a good trip. But yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna be traveling anytime soon. I'm done traveling at least until September, and then I'm going on a cruise and getting out of here. So yeah. So
ooh la la.
Yeah. So yeah, but Boston was nice. The one thing about Boston though is I feel like I don't know if you know anybody from Boston, but I feel like they I feel like they like to remind you that they're from Boston every 15 minutes.
Got it.
They're those people, right? And you can tell by their accent. You can tell by oh, you call that lobster? We don't. The lobster we have up there. It's like, okay, all right. Like, look, man, this is how we do it down here. You call that chowder?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was cool to see the Celtics play. I've never been to an NBA playoff game. I've been to NBA games, like meaningless regular season games. So that was cool to see them play. And so far this year, I'll have seen. I saw the Bucks play this season with Giannis, so that was cool. And now I got to see Joel Embiid play for
MVP
about 5 minutes before they shut him down because it was a blowout. So I think he sat for like the entire second half of the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter. So he only put up. He was like his first game back from the torn knee that he has, and so he only had 12 points. But it was cool to see an MVP play. It was cool to see Giannis play earlier in the year. Yeah. Next on my bucket list for sports is I want to go to a Game 7. I want to go to a Game 7 of a championship. So either a World Series Game 7, an NBA Finals Game 7. Or an NBA or a NHL Stanley Cup Final Game 7. That's what I want to see. More, I want to see that surprisingly more than I want to go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think a Super Bowl would be that good. I think it would be like when we went to WrestleMania, that no matter where we are, we're going to be 1,000 yards away. We're not going to be able to see anything. You're just going to be there for the atmosphere, and then you're going to get drunk, and then you're not even going to remember, and you're going to leave. I feel like it's going to be like WrestleMania. Yeah. It's when it's too big, that's what I've learned. I'd much rather go to an NBA Finals because you're still in a smaller arena. No matter where you are, no matter where you sit, it's going to be live. You're going to be in it. Outside isn't as loud. I don't know. Like I said, I thought minus the Raw sucking, but the NXT And the Raw was at least better feeling because it was in a smaller arena compared to Mania, where it was in gigantic SoFi. And
I thought the crowd at the Raw after WrestleMania until they realized that this episode was going to blow. I thought the crowd was a lot louder at that Raw. And maybe it was just as loud
indoors,
at Mania.
Smaller. It just it feels louder, man. It always has. I mean, Eric Bischoff talks about that all the time. That his WCW events, he loved being in smaller arenas compared to the huge ones that they would throw every once in a while. So, man,
that's what AEW does. They go to the smaller places, and it's always much louder. Except when Daniel Bryan's talking about Bret Hart, then you can't hear him. So
right, we'll get to that. Well, speaking of, let's start with that before we get into it. So AEW's Wembley tickets went on sale. They pre-sold. Have they officially went on sale now? Did they go on sale this weekend?
They go on sale this week or something.
Or is it this week or was it already? I forget. But they started and they did what? They're trying to fill 98,000 or no, 100-something thousand. They're trying to beat WrestleMania 3 is what I'm being told. They sold 50,000 pre-sales and people were dogging them for that, which I think is insane. How can you dog? Even if they only have 50,000 people there, AEW having 50,000 people, like, get over yourselves, people. Like, that's huge. So we'll see how many they get. Are you looking it up right now to see where they're at?
They on the pre-sale they sold 50,000,
okay,
and they're just at 60,000 on the general sale.
Okay,
so they're getting there.
So I mean, I don't think they're going to break WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to hit over 100,000, but I also don't think that's a knock. I don't think that's even, like I said, even if they only get to 70, that's like, hello, 70. Mania only had 5 each night, so that's not even that much. I mean, 15,000 people. I mean, it's
also got to factor in too. Like, just because it fills 98,000 people doesn't mean 98,000 people will be there, because you got to make room for the set, you got to make room for the stage, you got to have room for all of that stuff, and then the ring. So that it's going to take some of the seats out. So,
but I think they're saying they're trying to fill like 100. No, like their mark is sitting 100,000. They want to beat Mania 3. Yeah. That's what I heard, but. I don't know if Tony Khan's announced that, but that's like what they put out there.
I think they can do it. I think really? they need to tell us what the main event's going to be or what they're planning on doing. And I think because I'll say European crowds are pretty loyal and they love wrestling and they love going, like Clash at the Castle is a prime example. That was sold out, and a lot of people knew that Drew McIntyre was going to be in the main event of that. He was the hometown boy, and so I think that sparked people's interest. So if you can get a Will Ospreay to come, or if you can get, Saraya will be there, of course, but I don't know if she's big enough to sell out Wembley Stadium. But there's a guy out there, CM Punk. What are you planning to do with him? Is he going to come back? And
they might announce him Wednesday, right? That's what the rumor is. And
yeah. Is he enough to sell out Wembley? I don't know. So I think they need to have a plan for their show and then announce whatever that main event is ahead of time, and then I think that'll help get them over that 100,000 if it's something people are interested in.
Yeah, I mean, 100,000 is a lot, man. But either way, like I said, I think they've already impressed. 60,000 plus is already an accomplishment. I think they should be proud of themselves. And anybody who says otherwise is just a freaking hater.
And there's
that's a lot
out there too. I saw some stuff on social media that's like, well, it's Tony Khan. He bought all the tickets.
Yeah.
He has like, come on, go away.
Yeah.
He sat on Ticketmaster and I'm going to sit in section. Now, nope, I don't like that. So I'm going to pay for that one. And now I'm going to sit in this back row. Oh man, the front row sold out. Let me move. No.
And then what is he like giving them away too after that? Like people would talk that. People would be like, yo, I got like a bunch of free tickets to the AEW. Like that's not happening.
Yeah. You would hear about that all over social media if you got free AEW tickets. I would go if it was free. If I got free tickets, I would book a plane ticket out there.
Let's go.
But no, he didn't. He's not buying up all the tickets. So stop with that.
Yeah, I agree. Move on and stop.
Stop it. As they say in Boston.
Stop it. Yeah, stop it. Stop it. Oh man, I want to go to Boston. We can go visit a friend. Anyway, all right, let's get into Rampage. AEW Rampage 2 weeks ago. Quick hour. It had main people in it. It was uneventful, but it did have some main people in it. But I wanted to talk about one particular thing. They officially announced a new trios team in the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. And once again, if I haven't said it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, people in AEW watch our podcast because every time we ever say anything about AEW, it happens anytime. And we just talked about how I wanted this to be a trios. That I think I asked you, like, would you want them to be the next trios champion? And then all of a sudden now they're coming out as a trio. And I'll forward to Dynamite, so we're not going to talk about it. And then they won the Trios Battle Royal. They had a Battle Royal. So they had there was a quick squash match on Rampage. So it was quick and painless, but it was just a start of their trio. And then now they won the Battle Royal, and then Blackpool Combat Club, House of Black announced that they have new tag team titles, trios titles, sorry. They're like all blacked out or whatever, and that now they're going to have a match, and it's going to be house rules, and it sounded cool, but it was basically like a San Juan street fight. I mean, it's the same difference, right?
Pretty much,
Except there was no, you couldn't get submit. There was something that you couldn't. No rope grabs and stuff. That's right. Nothing can save. But I thought rope breaks didn't happen in street fights either, right? You can't have a rope because it's no disqualification. So it's not like you have to let go.
Yeah, I think those rules are all out. I don't know anymore because they had Hell in a Cell end with a no contest one year. So I don't know what the rules are anymore.
Yeah, me neither. It is. Yeah,
but yeah, the rules are for this is you can choose to enforce disqualifications or not. You don't have to. They call that the dealer's choice of this.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then it's no rope breaks and 20-second countouts, which I'm all for the 20-second countout. So I like that. I like that.
I was all for it in general. Like, for one, I think it gives House of Black something to do. I like that AEW gives people their own championships, like designs it to make it look a little bit different. I think WWE should do that. Like, they did the Stone Cold belt for a second, which was cool. The Smoking Skull belt was cool. But I like that they don't change the belt. They just kind of style it a little bit, right? Make their color, put MJF stuff on it and whatever else. But I'm all for this. So what say you? What I'm saying is that they announced them on Rampage. We called it. They won the thing on Dynamite. Are we getting new trios champions, or are they are you gonna have the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass lose to the House? Because once again, it's kind of like a weird match. They don't really you're gonna have the House of Black mysterious and coming out all dark and weird, and then you're gonna have the Acclaim with them busting a rap on them about how they are not really black or something. I don't know, but they're gonna do some kind of thing, and then are you digging it? And can you have the Acclaim lose again? You're gonna have them go for the trios and then lose again?
That's the tricky part of this, right? Because we did predict it, we did call it, and this is what we wanted. But now that it's a reality, I'm almost kind of torn on it because I just can't imagine the promo battles, right? It's kind of like the when Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt were supposedly going to be wrestling at WrestleMania, and I was just imagining the dark and sinister promo of Bray Wyatt, and then there's Brock Lesnar doing his little shaky thing and then smiling really proudly, not taking it seriously. That's kind of how I worry. I worry about that with the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed is one of the most overacts in all of wrestling, but they're also kind of a goofy, happy-go-lucky, entertaining group. And House of Black is more dark and sinister and serious, and I just don't see it meshing very well. So I am curious to see how they do these promo battles. Is it will the Acclaimed go dark themselves and kind of change their attitude for this match? I don't know. And then also, is it it feels too soon to take the belts off of House of Black?
I agree.
Because they just won them not too long ago at Revolution, and they really haven't. I mean, they've had a couple of defenses against the JAS and some other groups, but it also feels like the Acclaimed cannot really afford another loss. So
I agree.
Unless AEW has some trick up its sleeve, I'm really curious to see how they're going to do this match. I have no idea what they're going to do.
I agree. But I'm looking forward to it. It's weird, right? Because they're both talented, and I think their promos, they're both phenomenal at promos. They just do it differently. So I'm intrigued. I don't know how Daddy Ass fits into it. I feel like he's a little bit of the, goofball.
He can take the pin. Yeah.
Yeah, but so.
But yeah, and also I think we said the same thing a few weeks ago with the Best Friends going against House of Black with Orange Cassidy and his group when they went, and that was a phenomenal match, and I wanted to see more of it, and I think they all went together in the ring. So I have no doubt that the Acclaimed and House of Black will bring it in the ring. I'm just curious about the build and how they're going to get to the match, and are the Acclaimed going to take it seriously? Are they going to drop the rap gimmick for this one time? I don't know. But I am curious. Is House of Black going to attack them and take out Max Caster or somebody like that to make them a little bit more serious going into Double or Nothing. It'll be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Rampage happened to pique your interest?
We got the new tag team of Dusty Rhodes and Keith Lee. Naturally Limitless.
All right. I like that they have names though.
Yeah, which, like, again, it goes back to my thought I said a few weeks ago. Keith Lee is the worst friend you could ever have, because he went from Swerve Strickland and turned on him. Then he goes to Adam Cole and doesn't help him out when Adam Cole's wife is getting assaulted in the ring by Saraya, and Adam Cole's handcuffed to the ring, so he can't do anything about it. And then he just drops them and moves right over to Dusty Rhodes, and So I don't know And Swerve Strickland made an appearance, and they're continuing that whole thing again. It's just like, all right, can we please move on from this?
Yep.
I'm over all that. So
yeah, and what's with the whole Swerve? So is he in the same faction, but now it's new? Because I think it was Rampage that they did that, where he came out and the screen had his old name, but he had a shirt on with a new name.
Yeah.
The Mogul affiliates, but now they're the Mogul because they combined with that other guy, because now all of them are back.
Was it the Mogul Embassy?
Yes, the Mogul. Yeah. So they were the Mogul, but his screen said Mogul affiliates. It had the logo, but then his shirt said Mogul Embassy. And he was with the guys because he took the people from the embassy. Isn't that what it was? Or so, I don't know. Yeah. It was just, and why are they wearing all those ninja? I don't know. I was like,
he owns 51% of it. And
I was like,
he's the Vince McMahon of Mogul affiliates.
Yeah, I was like over. As soon as I was like, oh man, I'm like done with this. I am, yeah.
But just how many times with AEW are we going to get the stare down? Can we just how many, this is like 2 or 3 weeks in a row that Swerve Strickland has come out and just stared at Keith Lee, and then it just goes to commercial. Let's fight already. Do something already. Fight. I don't care if it's on Dynamite. I don't care if it's at Double or Nothing. But just fight. Just do something.
They love stare downs at AEW. They don't come to the ring. They're like, no, you walk out, stop at that ramp, and you give him a mean look. And they're like, okay.
This whole every episode time was a stare down.
It was. And Dusty and Keith Lee, I mean, I don't know. I mean, with Keith Lee looking like he's older than Dustin, and and Dustin, being 95, he's been wrestling for 5 decades, literally. I don't know. I thought whatever. I thought it came out of nowhere. Maybe I missed something, but all of a sudden it was like, this new tag team, they're going to be dominating. And I'm like, oh, who is it? And they're like, Dustin Rhodes and Keith. I'm like, Goldust and Keith Lee? Oh, man.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem intriguing. But it was fun. It is what it is. And they got nothing to do. And I've never been a Keith Lee fan. So, meh. Put him where he needs to go. I don't care. Dustin still can go. I like Goldust.
He's still – that's what I was about to say. Is Dustin Rhodes is – I think he's better in AEW than he ever was when he was in WWE.
100%.
He's much older now, and I think his character too. His character is a little bit more serious than it was in WWE.
Well, yeah.
I think he's proven that age is nothing but a number, because this man can still go, and he's putting on some of the best matches he's ever had. So shout out to him.
But he needs to leave. He needs to end his career with his brother. So nothing against AEW, but he needs to end his career in WWE.
Maybe when Cody finishes the story, Dustin Rhodes can do that.
I can't wait to finish
and then
that
turn
story.
on him.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. It's Dynamite time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to Wednesday. Dynamite was all right. I give it a 7 out of 10, maybe. It was okay. It did what it needed to do. It was predictable. We'll talk about things, but I want to talk about the Blackpool Combat Club and their promo. One, let's just get the bad. There was one bad, like you said. You keep calling this as well, that they cannot get their backstage promo mics working. Daniel Bryan was literally talking, and you could not hear anything he said. And then all of a sudden, it just kicked in, and he was like, there was and ever will be me. I'm the best there ever will. I'm like, was he just is he starting a beef with Bret Hart? I thought maybe he was talking about the Owen Hart invitation. I had no idea. But then we never found out. He just moved on with his life. But Mox was all about it, because when we looked at Mox, he was like, yeah. Damn right.
What he said.
Yeah, you heard him. I'm like, I didn't. I didn't hear anything, Max.
I'm sorry.
But I liked it. I like that, that Claudio was just standing there staring. I like that Wheeler Yuta was just staring. I love that Daniel Bryan keeps making fun of Wheeler Yuta. He was like, even the little shit Wheeler Yuta is going to be better than me one day. I love it. I love that Daniel Bryan was like, I am the best in the world, but if there's anyone going to be better than me, it's somebody here. The only other bad part about the promo was that Mox decided to talk and he needed to get right in front of the camera. So he like covered up Yuta the whole time. And Wheeler Yuta kept trying to like pop his head out. Like he was trying to be Sia. He was like, I'm here too. But I have been shitting on Mox for a while in AEW. I don't like him. I like Dean Ambrose better. I don't like his character, but this is the Mox I like. This was a Mox promo that delivered. They are all delivering on all cylinders. The Blackpool Combat Club, like I said, I think has passed up everybody else right now as factions, including Judgment Day and Bloodline. Reason why, because Bloodline's been around now and Roman's not around, so they've definitely passed them. And Judgment Day, even though I think they're better, they never win. So Blackpool Combat Club actually wins. I like their gimmick. All I want them to do is get rid of the stupid screwdriver thing. Like I said, we don't need blood. We just need punishment. We need to punish people. But minus that, man, like this promo was like, I was in it. I watched it twice. I was like just engaged. I was like, man, this is like how it is. And Daniel Bryan just being that, like, this is what William Regal should have done. And he had that in him. They just never made it. They split up too much. They had Mox going for time. I just like that they're like a unit doing their damn thing. They mean business. Two of them don't even talk. Let Mox and Daniel Bryan talk for everybody else. Just let them handle their damn thing. And I don't even know what they're doing in ROH. They could be even adding more, but they are killing it on Dynamite. I think they're like one of the few things that I look forward to, and they're delivering. So I'm all aboard the Blackpool Combat Club train for sure. Always have been, but for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think this was one of the few highlights for me for Dynamite this week, was just this promo alone. And the BCC, I've been looking for at the beginning of it. I wasn't really a big fan. I was like, okay, Moxley bleeds. You know, these guys don't like each other. They're feuding. This guy's feuding. Eddie Kingston's there for some reason. You know, it's just, and I was like, okay, this is just too much. And then they were feuding with like the Jericho Appreciation Society, and you had like 9 people brawling at one time. It just got to be too much. And then when William Regal got involved, and MJF's, he screwed John Moxley, and then, but it's gotten better and better since William Regal left, and since Bryan Danielson came back with the BCC. Once he stopped feuding and stopped the good guy act and went back to, his real home, which was the BCC. When he said he was going home, he's re-energized them and brought some life back to the BCC. And this is the BCC that I love. I want them to stop with the screwdriver stuff too, but I love that they're just taking out everybody. A few weeks ago when they took out Christopher Daniels, I thought that was awesome. That nobody's safe around the BCC, and I'm looking forward to this is one of the few good stories that AEW's been telling, and I think this Kenny Omega and John Moxley cage match on Wednesday night is going to be a banger. I have no doubt it's going to be a banger, and I think there's going to be some BCC shenanigans. I'm sure the Young Bucks will come and get involved. Adam Page will get involved, and it's going to lead to something at Double or Nothing. But
who's going to win? That's the thing. Like, neither one can take an L.
Yeah. I could see.
I mean, Mox can, I guess, but you don't want. I mean, like I said, they're dominating. They can't like.
Yeah. I could see the BCC jumping Kenny Omega, climbing into the cage and beating up Kenny Omega or something, and then that allows Moxley to escape. So it's a cheap win for Moxley, so it doesn't hurt Omega. But I think it's gonna be a great match, and I love the story that they're telling. I even in the promo that we're talking about, Moxley even mentioned that 2019, 2020, that feels like a decade ago, because this is a whole new era. This is a whole new BCC, a whole new John Moxley, a whole new Kenny Omega. And we're going to bring it, and we're going to get it. And I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, for me, I want to talk about this opening match. This 8-man tag between Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Bandito against the JAS, the JV squad of the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Well, Garcia was there. They had one guy.
Garcia, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Jake Hager. And Chris Jericho he came out separately and came out on commentary to be as part of this match. And I thought the match was good. AEW has this thing where they make me not care about somebody's debut match. Like, I feel like they should have been hyping up that this was Roderick Strong's debut match in AEW, and they really didn't. They didn't do, and they did the same thing with Juice Robinson when he signed just a few weeks ago. Next thing you know, he's wrestling with Ricky Starks on TV, and it's like, wait, or he wrestled Sean Spears, and it's, wait a second, what's like, why? Okay, they're not going to hype this up at all. This was one of their two big surprises, two of their big signings, and you put them in an 8-man tag match. I mean, it was a great match. Don't get me wrong, and I still feel like Orange Cassidy and Bandito being together is completely random.
Yes, it is.
They just completely stuck their nose in this business. This just last week on Dynamite when they came out to help Adam Cole from the JAS from getting jumped, and that's when Roderick Strong came out and beat up everybody. So. But I thought the match was good. I thought Orange Cassidy did his thing. Maybe it's leading to Orange Cassidy and Daniel Garcia at Double or Nothing, for the international. I know they're wrestling on Dynamite.
They're wrestling on Dynamite, yeah.
So maybe it leads to something with them. I don't know, but I feel like there's no, as great as this match was and as great as Orange Cassidy's been, there's no direction for him. Like, who's he going to wrestle at Double or Nothing? Who's he going to fight? Who's he going after? And the end of this match was great. It was good. I do like that the Adam Cole Chris Jericho feud is another great story for me that they're telling. I love their segment a few weeks ago where Adam Cole was handcuffed in the ring and Saraya was just beating up Britt Baker with the kendo stick, and Adam Cole just looked on as Chris Jericho was encouraging it. And I love that Adam Cole, after the match, as soon as he pinned whoever it was, Angelo Parker or the other guy, he just got up and went up to the ring or went up to the commentary table and just beat up Chris Jericho, put him through the ramp, put him through the stage. And, they were just brawling. And then, of course, security comes out. And it's like, wait a second. You literally had a man handcuffed in a ring 2 weeks ago while a woman was getting assaulted. And you don't come out for that. But Adam Cole pushes Chris Jericho through a set. And you come out and try to break up that whole thing. Like, I don't know. But I thought it was cool. I'm digging this Jericho, Adam Cole thing. I like that it went to the backstage, too, and Britt Baker got involved when she slapped Chris Jericho. And I think she called him Bitch Jericho there because he didn't have his crew with him. And he looked like he was crying, like, get him out of here. Get him out of here. It looked like he was in tears. So I thought all of that was well done. And I'm looking forward to the next chapter of this Adam Cole, Chris Jericho feud, and hopefully it leads to something big at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, and that was the only problem with this match, is that I feel like they were like, crap, we got to get all these people on TV. Orange Cassidy has to be the first match of every Dynamite and every Rampage. So we're like, we have to get Orange Cassidy, and how are we going to do this? And so they made it work. But I think it took away, because I think the only point of this match was for Cole and Jericho. That was the whole entire thing. I mean, Jericho walks out with the Britt Baker shirt on, mocking him, teasing him, and I think everyone else kind of got forgotten, including Orange Cassidy, a champion, and including Roderick Strong in his return. Roderick Strong looked strong in this match. He looked good, like he was in Diamond Mine. I'm a big Roderick Strong fan, and like I said, I hope they bring back Undisputed Era in a way. I know they can't call them that, but whatever they want to call them, I'm all for it. I think Adam Cole needs a crew, and especially having Britt Baker with them too. I'm digging it. And Hayter, they can have they could be all of them, or maybe they can just have him, Roderick, Hayter, and Britt Baker be the new Undisputed Era. I mean, whatever they want to do, but I like it. But I like the realism for once. Like, Adam Cole was trying to get to Jericho the whole time. And I like that kind of stuff because, like you said, there was a moment, I forgot what you talked about last week. I don't know if it was WWE or AEW, where somebody got jumped and then, like, he walked right by him and didn't even care.
It was Mark Briscoe.
That's right. Yeah.
He got jumped by all those, by the prime time, not the varsity. Yeah. And then he just walked right on by him.
Yeah, didn't care.
Yeah, like, to go talk to Jared and the FTR for fighting over him. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I loved it. And even though, Adam Cole and Jericho saw each other in catering earlier, it's still like the fact that, like, they're keeping it real on TV. The only thing I didn't like about it was that Jericho was pretending like he didn't know it was happening. He, like, continued to talk on the mic. He was like, well, I think Adam Cole. And then Adam Cole, I'm like, the announcers are literally saying Adam Cole's running up here. You have monitors. You were
And
watching the match. You
Yeah.
and you were like pretending because he needed to be like blindsided. It was a little weird. But I don't even know if they meant to go through that curtain and everything because it kind of showed some stuff it wasn't supposed to. I don't know, but I liked it. I liked it all. I liked the backstage promo. I liked the realism to it. I like that Britt Baker was talking shit. That's like kind of how a girl would do if she's like, yeah, mother, like, that's right. You a pussy. You ain't doing nothing. You want to beat me up? My black guy's gone. Like, I liked it all. I like the intensity, and I think it's building great. Jericho, it's hard, man. Like, I keep talking about how I don't have him in my top 10, but the dude makes it hard, man. I don't know a gimmick or a feud that he hasn't done that isn't phenomenal. Patrick's not listening right now. Hopefully he listens on the rewind, but I mean, it's like, because that's his dude. It's like everything, man. When I think back about him with his Kevin Owens feuds and his, even Triple H feuds and his feud with Shawn Michaels, everything's so personal and good. It's Big Show feud. Like every feud he has, even in AEW with MJF and it's just everything is Kenny Omega. Everything he does is magnificent. And this feud, once again, it feels good. So I liked it. The match itself is phenomenal, but I thought it wasted people because it was giving too much. And once again, you're wrestling the JAS of people who gives a crap. But at least they're making the JAS feel important. So I mean,
I'll give him credit for that. And
him and his nipples.
my one gripe, and it has nothing to do with the match itself. It actually has to do with the women's segment that went on later in the night, where Saraya came out and wrestled Willow Nightingale, and then after the match, Sheeta came out, and it looked like she was going to join. She was going to join the Outcasts, and they gave her the spray paint. And then there was Britt Baker and Tony Storm, or not Tony Storm, but Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Yeah, they came out, and they're standing behind them, so the Outcasts can't see. And then Sheeta turns on them. And then Sheeta's the one beating up Saraya with the kendo stick, and Britt Baker's just kind of standing there. I'm like, this girl just beat the snot out of you 2 weeks ago with the kendo stick. Like, you should be fighting Sheeta for that kendo stick. Like, let me get it, and then you take it. And like, I wanted to see a little bit more anger and a little bit more frustration and just emotion from Britt Baker, but she just kind of stood there and was doing her thing with Jamie Hayter while Sheeta was beating Saraya up with the kendo stick. And it was a cool swerve, I guess. I mean, I never thought Sheeta was actually going to be joining them in the first place, but yeah, I wanted to see a little bit more emotion from Britt Baker after what she did to her 2 weeks ago that involved Chris Jericho.
So glad you brought that up because I forgot about that, and now I remembered how much I hated it because once again it was another prime example of you had Adam Cole like live it down, but not Britt Baker, and it was so dumb. For one, who gives a crap what Sheeta's doing? No one cares about Sheeta. Like, who cares?
No.
And then she like hit her with like the thing like 5 times, and then Britt Baker was like, done and done.
Good job.
Like, you literally turned me into a t-shirt. You beat me to a bloody pulp while you had my boyfriend handcuffed, or the boyfriend, while he was like crying and screaming to save me. You tortured me. But I'm good with you taking 5 kendo sticks. I'm out. Bad Bunny took more kendo sticks than that in a random match on Saturday. Like, it was, I thought that was like, she didn't like give her like a kick in the, like, I agree with you. I thought it was so stupid. She was like, yay, we did it. And then she just
we
left.
overcame the obstacle. And I thought I wanted to see just a little bit more emotion from her and a little bit more, like, I didn't even like save the Sheeta thing for next week or something. Yeah. Just have her come out in the middle of that match and beat the snot out of them and let her fight off Tony Storm and Ruby Soho and let Jamie Hayter come out and help her and even bring Chris Jericho out, bring Adam Cole back out. Like, let them continue. Like, I don't know. I just thought there was no emotion from Britt Baker in that segment at all.
I agree.
It was just the happy-go-lucky Britt that we've been seeing.
Well, wait till Wednesday when she attacks them. Watch. She's going to be like, I need my revenge. I'm going to be like, not last week? I thought you moved on. But yeah. I want to talk about something. I want to talk about Wardlow and Christian Cage. We talked about this, saying that you actually, I think, said Christian Cage needs to be the one who wrestles, not I made you nervous. Christian Cage is the one, not Luchasaurus, who should be wrestling Wardlow. And Wardlow comes out. It's so funny when he cut his hair. I was like, oh, I kind of dig it. Now when I see him, I'm like, I don't dig it. I don't know if it's because he can be babyface, but he just does not look like Wardlow anymore. Arn Anderson with him is a joke. I know Arn is Arn, but once again, I'm not saying this because I think he is, but dude always looks like he's drunk or not there. He just does not like his. There's literally no point to have Arn Anderson with Wardlow. The crowd is not that hot for Wardlow anymore, but I think Wardlow needs to get pushed. He needs a good feud, and who better than Christian freaking Cage? And I love Christian Cage coming out with Luchasaurus, them assuming Wardlow calling out Luchasaurus, I want you, and Christian Cage was like, nah, fam, it's me. And then he walked away, and Luchasaurus kind of looked like he was like, grr? Like he wasn't sure, and then he was like, oh, I accept it, and then left. So I don't know what they're doing there, but I like it. I like it a lot. It's someone that can take an L if he needs to, or it's also somebody that can, once again, keep the carousel going. But Christian Cage with his promos, it's going to be dark. He's going to dig into Wardlow. It gives Wardlow a good chance to kind of build it up. And I think this can, Wardlow and Christian, I think Christian Cage can do for Wardlow what MJF did for Wardlow. Not in the same aspect, because MJF and Wardlow did it for like a year and a half, but for pushing Wardlow again and getting him back to being where he was before he started this TNT thing. Because remember, he was the hottest act in AEW after MJF. He was hotter than hotter than anybody. He was the act, and now he's not. And I think Christian Cage can get him back there, because I do believe Christian Cage is that damn good. So I'm all for this match, win or lose, whatever happens.
Yeah, I'm for this match too. I think we called this too. I think we said a few weeks ago that it should be Christian Cage and not Luchasaurus. And next thing you know, it's Christian Cage comes out there and says, "Hey, I'm going to take the title from Luchasaurus." So it makes me do wonder too, like how long Christian Cage and Luchasaurus will be together. Was Luchasaurus genuinely surprised that Christian Cage is taking his title shot, or is it gonna lead to him turning on him? I don't know, but I'm digging this. I'm excited about it. I do want to talk to Wardlow about how open challenges work, because he cut the promo. He grabbed the mic and said, "I'm not done yet. I haven't even broken a sweat." And then he called out Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, and he said, "Christian, I'm demanding a TNT open challenge." But you're the champion, so you don't demand an open challenge for your own championship. You issued the open challenge, and people answer it. But it's a minor thing, but it was
that's
just
him not being great on promo.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm demanding a TNT open challenge for a title that I already have. But but anyway, Christian Cage is a great heel, and I think the TNT championship is what it is. There's never going to be a lengthy reign. There's never going to, I'm just kind of used to that by now. But I do think Christian Cage needs to have some gold around his waist in AEW. I think he could bring some relevance to the TNT championship. And I know I say this all the time, but maybe he could hold it for a little bit and be the heel champion, the chicken shit heel TNT champion, just like we have the chicken shit heel world champion with MJF. And people want to go after Christian Cage, and people want to beat up Christian Cage. And I would love to see it. I'd like to see him, before he hangs it up for good, have some gold around his waist in AEW, and I think the TNT title would be perfect for him. But yeah, I'm digging this match with him and Wardlow. I think it's going to be great, and I think Christian Cage can bring out the best in Wardlow for sure.
Oh, for sure. And I think Christian Cage and Luchasaurus can be like MJF and Wardlow were, but you can have Christian Cage be the champ while doing it, and he can be defending his championship and winning for the next 6 months, 7 months, all because of Luchasaurus, until Luchasaurus gets angry with it and then turns on
There you go.
So they can build a great, well, there you go. It's going to happen now. I just spit it into the AEW
Tony Khan.
So
Tony Khan's watching.
They need to stop paying. But I think that'll work, and I think it's, it's magic, and Wardlow can go pursue other things, and maybe the heavyweight championship against
the only thing I hate about this though is just Powerhouse Hobbs is completely gone from the TNT championship.
He's like in a tag team now.
He was in that trio.
He's a trio.
He was in that trios battle royal and got eliminated by the Acclaim. So it's just like, that's it. He's not going to get a rematch on a title that he should have never lost in the first. I don't know.
I agree.
A title he never should have won. He's not going to get a rematch for the belt that he shouldn't have lost. So
they might bring him back. They did that with Samoa Joe. He was gone for a while. Then all of a sudden he was back, and Powerhouse Hobbs was back, and then they all. I don't know. Yeah.
But no, I'm all in on Christian Cage and Wardlow. I think they can bring out the best in each other, and I do think the crowd is starting to fizzle out on Wardlow a little bit. So I think this could be the thing that turns it around, because they used to be all in on that Powerbomb Symphony. They used to chant with him and do the hand gestures. I didn't see anybody doing that this week. So hopefully Christian brings that out of him and changes it. So,
all right. Last thing, I wonder what you're going to talk about.
Let's talk the main event, which I'm sorry, this was a waste of time. The four pillars main event tag match, Jungle Boy and Darby Allin versus MJF and Sammy Guevara. Throughout the night, you saw MJF and Sammy Guevara going back to being best friends, apparently, because Sammy Guevara said there was nobody in the car last week when you drove off, and he was just saying, MJF was like, "Oh, it was just, I'm sorry, I should have been forthcoming. My back was hurting from carrying this company, and I just needed some space to be by myself." I mean, it was a cool line, but I don't know, it was just a. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, him and MJF are friends again, and then Jungle Boy and Darby Allin are having a thing before the match, and then MJF comes in and talks to Jack Perry, and just is basically telling him that I've always you can be the right hand man to the throne. You're just not quite championship material. Then Darby Allin comes back in and he sees them talking and he wants to know what they're all up to, and then Jungle Boy tells him nothing, and then they have the match. And here's the thing. We knew the outcome of this match already. We knew it was going to be the fatal 4-way match at Double or Nothing. Sammy Guevara was already in the match at Double or Nothing just a couple weeks ago on Rampage. Whether I'm all confused on my timelines now, but because we're doing this Rampage from not this past Friday, but the Friday before. But there was a segment with Ty Mello, and
that was on the Rampage that we saw. Yeah, the one before.
Yeah. So there was a segment with Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara where she's like, we don't need the money. You're letting MJF manipulate you. You're letting him control you. You're letting him, use you. We don't need you could be the champion, and you're letting this man just he's just going to get an easy victory. And it looked like she finally talked some sense into him. And I wish AEW would have followed up on that a little bit more. I wish they would have played on that a little bit more and not had Sammy Guevara show up for this match. And then you make it be Darby Allin and Jungle Boy versus MJF in a handicap match, in a handicap tag team match, because Sammy Guevara is already in the main event. He has nothing to lose. So why does he have to wrestle in this? It was just a waste of time. It was a good match. I'm glad we got to see MJF wrestle on TV. But like things like this, guys arguing over who gets the pinfall, who cares? You're not a tag team. You're not an established team that's about to break up or having, chemistry issues. Who cares? Like Darby Allin and Jungle Boy arguing over the pinfall there at the end. Like, just pin them. Both of you are in the main event if you win this match. So who gives a crap who pins who? Just beat them and get into the match, and then worry about the pinfall in the main event of the pay-per-view. But I don't know. I didn't like the build for this. I didn't like how we got there. I'm excited for the Fatal 4-Way now that we know we're getting it. I think we have about 3 or 4 more weeks to build up to it. And I think they can turn the build around a little bit and make it something worth watching. But how we got there, I was not a fan of. This tag team match that Sammy Guevara didn't need to be in, and that made the Pillar tournament just a couple weeks ago feel absolute meaningless and everything. So I'm in on the main event. I think it's going to be a great match. I have no doubt it's going to be the show stealer of the night, but I don't like how we got there. And this match was a waste of time, in my opinion.
Well, it was. I agree. And this is what happens when you have pay-per-views that are like 3 months apart, because you need to fill some time. But you can fill that time with having MJF wrestle for the title against somebody random at a big Dynamite, and then have him start this feud afterwards. Because now you have another 4 weeks or whatever to build after you've just been building for 4 weeks of waste of time. And that's what they do all the time. They did it with MJF and Bryan Danielson, where you had him earn it. And then when he earned it, he still had 3 more weeks to go. So then they had to try to fill up more time. And So, I mean, I just hope they don't go with this whole stupid Jungle Boy and Darby trying to be friends, not be friends, and MJF and Sammy. I mean, obviously they turned on each other, but no, let's still be they had
a mashup in their entrance video.
They were twins. They dressed the same. Obviously that's done, but obviously because Sammy turned on him at the end. But it's like, I don't know. I just want to see them just all 4 individually go at each other, do whatever they need to do. If they want to we have 3 or 4 weeks and have MJF one by one them again, that's fine with me. But I don't want to see trying to be French. Like, just let these 4 battle it out. Who wants the damn title? Don't ever have Tay Mello cut a promo again, because that backstage promo was atrocious.
Oh, it was bad.
I felt like she couldn't even speak. She was like saying this, and I like her. She was just saying the same stuff over. I was like, oh my gosh, get to the point. But at no point to get her involved either. I thought that was random, because he hasn't even been like a JAS guy. Now all of a sudden I don't know. But other than that, it was what it was, but it was a waste of time, a waste of a main event. It was a waste of a tournament. All of this was pointless. So now we're back. Like, I've always, I used to say, I used to write screenplays, and when I was taking classes forever on how to write a movie, the key thing was that anything in your movie, anything you talk about, anything that is mentioned has to play a part in the movie. You can't just have a random person come into somebody's life and then they don't mean anything, and then you just continue on with the movie. It's a waste of time. Everything in your script needs to matter. That's like the wrestling's a show. It's an entertainment. That's the same thing. You just did all of this for what? So unless they're going to take this and continue to build on it, which I don't see how they're going to, I don't know what happens. But yeah, you don't just do all this for no reason, because that's how fans turn on you and get bored of a feud or an event.
No, I 100% agree. And I think that the thing to me, we talk about AEW all the time with its randomness. And I feel like this MJF, Sammy Guevara friendship was just completely thrown together out of the blue. Because when we had MJF Appreciation Day in Long Island, where MJF did a sing-along with Maxwell Jacob Friedman and with the Long Island crowd, and he's doing the opera stuff and all that. And in that, Sammy Guevara cut a scathing promo, probably his best promo, where he got massive heel heat because he was in Long Island, which is MJF country, about how he does not respect Max. And he's talked about how he's fought and clawed his way, and he's carried AEW through some of the dark times. And, he's had his problems backstage and all these things, but, he's here now to fight. And then the next week let's be friends. I'll pay you this amount of money to lie down for me. And then they're all like buddy. And it's like, wait a second, what? Like, this is just complete randomness. So I don't know. I'm over all the randomness. And then, Darby Allin and Jungle Boy fighting and, feuding him like, ooh, I should pin him. No, let me get the pin. Just pin him. Who cares?
100%.
And then also, I got to say this about Jungle Boy. I like Jungle Boy. I think he's great. But give the man some new ring gear. My goodness gracious. He's got those Peter Pan boots and like the tassels and everything on his, like, if they're gonna go back to calling him Jungle Boy Jack Perry and then drop the dinosaur jungle look that he comes out looking. I mean, I know his name is Jungle Boy, but it was
it though? I mean, they call him Jack Perry more now.
They're calling him, like, I think is now like Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Whereas before he was just Jungle Boy. And it made sense when he was with Luchasaurus and they were the Jurassic Express to have that kind of jungly attire. But this is, I don't know. He had the Peter Pan, like the green Peter Pan boots with the leaves on them, and then the tassels and stuff on his. I think he needs some new ring gear for sure.
Oh, for sure. It's kind of like someone else's ring gear randomly. Matt Riddle, his ring gear is all he had, like the shorts, and now he's like, I'm gonna do Speedos now, but like the smallest, most awkward look, and he just looks like it doesn't, with no shoes on. It just looks like, without the boots, it just looks like you're like at a beach in a Speedo. Like, it looks awful. I don't like it at all. Like, sometimes ring gear, like it doesn't work. So
I can't imagine wrestling barefoot. Like, that would just, I don't know. I've never taken a bump, but I don't think I would like to take like a super kick in the face with somebody's barefoot. I don't know.
No. I also wouldn't want to get thrown out of the ring and land like on my toe and break it, or have someone step on it, or I don't know. I just feel like wrestling barefoot is, when other weird. People aren't barefoot, is weird. But man, that was the week in review, everyone, for AEW.
For all 0 of you listening right now.
Well, that's what happens when you pop it on a Monday randomly. People go back and listen. We're still doing good on views, so they will enjoy this. And we knew this would happen, but we'll be back Wednesday and Friday normal times, and we will do that last Rampage that had the Hardy compound. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, we're back to the COVID television days, and then with Dynamite coming up to see if CM Punk gets announced or anything like that. So we'll see what happens.
Stacking Dynamite up apparently for NBA and NHL playoff. Constantly bumping them. So we'll see. Definitely.
All right, it's segment time, my man. And our segment is going to be the one and only true or false.
Yes, sir. Let me get I got some sounds. Hang on.
I went too early.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
False.
There it is. False. So this is where we'll bring up a couple things about AEW, and you and I will decide whether we think it's true or false. As always, the man of the hour gets to go first. Shooting Star Press. What's your first true or false?
Oh, man. Okay. True or false? And this is just AEW in general.
Mm-hmm.
But true or false? And you tell me if you think this is true or false. But instead of Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing, and instead of having Britt Baker versus Saraya at Double or Nothing, it should be Adam Cole and Britt Baker versus Chris Jericho and Saraya in a tag match at Double or Nothing. True or false?
So are you saying it should or it will?
It will be.
Questions.
It will be.
Yeah. Ooh, that's tough, man. That's tough because Jericho and them are going at it pretty hard. But so I'm going to say it's true. I'm going to say it's true. I think they're going to have.
It's true. It's damn true.
I think they're going to have Hayter versus Saraya for the title, which will open up Britt Baker, who can team up with. No, because you're saying.
So Britt Baker and Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho and Saraya.
So Saraya will, because Hayter, they're not. What I meant is that they're not really feuding right now, so there was not really that opening by Double or Nothing for like a title. I don't think Hayter's because Hayter looks like she's going. Yeah,
Hayter versus Ruby Soho.
That's where I'm going with because remember they said too that we don't care who getting the title shot, so they can give it to somebody else. So you just got to get Jericho to Saraya. Like, how is that gonna? I know they tag teamed for a second to beat her down, but I think that's where they're gonna go, and I think that's where the money is, especially with that T-shirt and everything. So yeah, I say true. I think that's the way to go, and I think it would be Ruby Soho over Toni Storm. Toni Storm had her chance, so I can see that going on.
No, I like that. I think it should be a tag match as well. I think with that segment they had a few weeks ago, it only makes sense. And with Britt Baker beating up Chris Jericho this week and slapping him and almost making him cry, I think they have to make it a tag team match. They have to. But
all right,
again, I just want to see more emotion from Britt Baker when she beats up the women.
Yeah, dude, like show something, man. Show something. I love Britt Baker though. All right, true or false? We're gonna follow with Britt Baker. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So this has gotten a lot of flack. It came out, it got released. Jericho wore it. People are like, oh my gosh. They're like, it was like my hot topic of TikTok about whether or not this Britt Baker shirt should be a shirt and this and that. So I'm going to say this. The new Britt Baker shirt becomes one of the top selling shirts on AEW shop. True or false?
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
100%. Yes. 100% should be true and is true. The people making
I'm buying one, so you know.
Yeah,
I want it. I think it's hard. I like it.
It's a great shirt. Yeah, and I understand the outrage from people. I get it, but the people that are outraged about it haven't been watching the show. They haven't been watching to see. It's just to them, it's just a woman on a T-shirt with a black eye, and it signifies domestic violence and beating up women and all that, which is not okay. I'm not condoning that whatsoever.
But it wasn't a guy who did it.
No, it wasn't a guy who did it. It was a girl who did
female,
it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's also part of the show. And I think you got to be like a hardcore wrestling fan to understand that this happens in wrestling. But yes, I think this will be the top merch seller, one of the top merch sellers in AEW, and it should be. I think it's a dope shirt. I think it's a cool idea. And again, I understand why people are outraged about it, but those people haven't been watching wrestling. They haven't been watching to see what's been happening. And like you said, it wasn't a guy that did it. And she's probably gonna get her comeuppance against whoever, Saraya, Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing. So yeah, I'm all for it.
For sure.
If anything, it empowers the women of AEW.
That's what I think. It shows that they're just as tough. And I like that she has no makeup on. It's like just her and her reel with the black eye. It's just her whole face. I love it. But I also think it's funny too, because when Solo and Rhea were going to have their thing and they were talking about that, I was all against that, saying I don't want men on women. And everybody was dogging me for it, saying it's an act. And then Britt Baker has a black eye shirt and people are like, domestic violence. I'm like, huh? Like, it was literally going to be domestic violence. And I like a man on woman. And I was like, no thanks. And people are like, you're suck. And now it's like, I don't know. This wrestling world is fickle. All right.
All fickle.
All right. Let's do one more each. You got another one? Let's do it.
Yeah, I got a good one for you. So, so this name has been, I'm just throwing this out there, but so there's a guy out there that's currently in WWE that hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania. And the rumors are that he's pretty unhappy with his contract status. He's unhappy with his storyline and his character and everything in WWE. And there's rumors that him and WWE are at a stalemate when it comes to his contract negotiations, and his contract's going to be expiring here relatively soon. And this person I'm talking about is one Drew McIntyre. So, true or false? Drew McIntyre will leave the WWE and come to AEW and challenge Maxwell Jacob Friedman for the AEW World Championship.
My friend, I'm sorry, but that is false. It is false. Don't buy into what you hear in the media. I think it's bogus just because Drew McIntyre. Okay, here's the thing. Drew McIntyre got dogged by the WWE. Yes, and he was released, and he found himself in TNA or Impact. I don't know what it's called at the time, and he found himself overseas, and he made himself better. So, yes, I get that he can do it. I'm not saying him going to AEW wouldn't work, although I don't think it would, because I think people are made for certain organizations. I think he would get lost like anybody else who's gone there. But they did give him his title moment. It wasn't WWE's fault that COVID happened. So his moment was not done well. And it's not saying he's not going to get no one. They have 2 belts now. I think Drew is just trying to get more money and figure out where he's going and trying to figure out what life is about. I don't think it's more about him wanting to leave. I think he wants to be there. And I think he was treated well. I mean, he's had great matches, his stuff with Sheamus. I mean, he had that moment at Clash. I mean, these are big deals that he has been given by the WWE. I don't think he's hating on it as much as people are talking about the Dave Meltzers and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to say absolute false. I think he sticks around and re-signs a huge contract and retires in the WWE.
Yeah, I know I think he's hurt right now. I think that's also one of the things that's going on is that he's injured. But it was telling when they announced that World Heavyweight Championship, all the participants in that tournament or whatever they're doing with that, and his name was nowhere to be found, and he was drafted to Raw, and he's going after a Raw exclusive title. But again, I think he's hurt. But I agree with you. I think it would be cool it would be a huge get for AEW to get a guy like Drew McIntyre, but I don't think it's going to happen. I do think that I do believe some of the reports that people are a little unhappy with just kind of the constant chaos in WWE and everything. And I think because of the merger, because of the Endeavor stuff, and Vince McMahon being back, and he's did he believe in? I mean, he called Drew McIntyre the chosen one all those years ago, and he never did anything with him. But does he believe in Drew McIntyre now? Can he overrule Triple H, or Triple H wants to push him pretty hard? Because Drew McIntyre had his moment at Clash of the Castle, but that was a Triple H booking decision. That had nothing to do with Vince. Would he have even been in that position if Vince was there? So I think there's a lot of what ifs, but I think it would be a huge get for AEW for sure. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Me neither. I don't think. All right. So I was going to do a question about the Wembley thing, but we already talked about that. So you already gave me your answer on that. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to talk about your boy. I have a bunch of them, but
all right,
let's do this. Rumor has it that we are getting 2 shows now. It's going to be 2 2-hour shows. We're going to have one on Wednesday. They're getting rid of Rampage. They're going to make that dark. It's just going to be like enhancement talent and stuff, kind of like an NXT, which is good. And they're going to make this new show. I forgot what it's called, but they're going to put it on a Saturday night. Huh? Collision. That's right. Which I don't know why they wouldn't put Collision on Friday and Rampage to Saturday, because Saturdays are not a big deal. It's a hard sell. People aren't going to watch it. I don't think the rate at first they'll be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be,
it's going to be a hard time slot with
100%. 100%. Yeah. So they're doing this, but true or false? This is being done solely for CM Punk, and CM Punk and Collision will only have the Collision will only have CM Punk and people who want to wrestle CM Punk. So we'll never see him on Dynamite. These guys are going to be split. It's going to be 2 brands. True or false, or is that all hogwash and it's just going to be 2 different shows? What say you?
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Oh, all right.
I think there's some truth to it. I think they're doing this. I don't think they're getting a new show because of CM Punk. I think because this doesn't just happen overnight. And
yes,
this had to have been in the works for quite a while, and it just so happens that it's coming at a time where they need CM Punk to come back, and I think they're going to put him on this new show. And I do think they're going to have some sort of soft brand split, and they're going to keep him separate from the Elite and all the people that don't want to work with him. So yeah, I see it. I see it where he's only on Saturdays, and you only see certain people on Saturday nights, and you only see other people on Wednesdays. I don't like that. I don't think that's what they need to do, especially when you have pay-per-view builds and everything. You're not gonna have the BCC or the Elite on Saturday Night Collision when you have a pay-per-view on Sunday to cut one final promo against each other, because this is CM Punk show. We can't be back. Like I don't like it, but I think that's what they're doing. I also don't like I don't like the Elite and Kenny Omega, especially. If the rumors are true that they don't want to work with CM Punk and they want to only be on Dynamite, I don't think they should have a choice. I think they're VPs of the company, and they should act like VPs and show the rest of the younger guys that, hey, we're willing to bury the hatchet. We're willing to work with each other. We're, set an example for some of the other guys in the locker room. And instead, I feel like Tony Khan is just, feeding their ego and feeding CM Punk's ego. And yeah, so I think it's true that they're doing this to keep them separate, but I don't like that they're doing it.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of it. I think CM Punk will still be on Dynamite. I think he'll float back and forth. And I also don't think Tony Khan's just going to be like, all right, everybody, we're going to have 2 boxes and you put your name in one if you like CM Punk and if you don't. And that's what show you're going to go to. I think we have professionals. I do not think that this backstage. Okay, here's the thing, right? In wrestling, and I'm not saying I'm some insider or whatever, but if you're going to really pretend that wrestlers don't get in scuffles and fight backstage, you're flipping crazy. And that they don't ever. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels literally fought each other, like straight fought each other, and then went and wrestled. Like, people are professionals. These guys make money. They're told what to do. I do think CM Punk will feud with the Elite, but do I think he'll be exclusive to it? I think he'll be the major part of it. I think they want to do that. I think they'll have like the BCC and Kenny Omega, Dynamite, and this. I hope they do the split brands. I think brand splits are the best. I wish, obviously, we're finding out, and we'll talk about on Wednesday, that maybe they're not doing that in WWE, but you got to have that, because when you have so many people and so much talent, 2 hours is enough to spread that love once a week. We used to do it back in the 90s during the Attitude Era. You can do it now. So I would love for them to split. The AEW has so many people. And so, like, look at even Sean Spears, someone as little as him. Dude has wrestled a couple times. The dude is awesome, and he's not getting time. He's going to disappear again. People like, even Keith Lee and stuff like these guys can get some time to shine and get secondary titles. I like it. I think they should do that, and I'm all for it. So do I think it's 100% true? I don't know about that, but I think once they came up with the idea and everything, Tony Khan was like, what the heck am I going to do? Let's put I think Tony Khan thinks CM Punk is bigger than he is. It's like when you asked about the Wembley thing, like, oh, if CM Punk hits Wembley, then we're going to outsell. See, I don't think CM Punk was ever that guy. And I think there's a reason why he didn't headline WrestleMania. Now, I'm a huge Punk fan. I'm not as big as you are, but I have multiple Punk shirts. I rooted for him every WrestleMania. I was sad when he left. I was excited. I love CM Punk. I truly do. I just don't think he's that guy. And not everybody is that guy. Like, Adam Cole will be a champion one day, but he ain't that guy. He ain't Roman Reigns. He ain't these people that can fill a stadium. I don't think CM Punk's going to help with that, but I think if they have CM Punk on it, and you have Kenny Omega and you have Jericho, and you put these the Acclaimed, and you get them out there, then yes, I think combined, you make it right in the matches, it can sell. So, and I think Saturday will too, but I think CM Punk's in a bad boat, man. He's already somebody who's known as not the guy who can put things over. You're going to set him up on a show that is already going to fail. I mean, is it going to be like a bomb? No, it might do 800,000 views weekly or whatever, but it's not. Saturdays, dude, that's a tough sell. Like, everyone's going to watch that recorded and later on. I know wrestling guys are like nerds and their mom's bait. Nah, Saturdays are tough, man. Like, there's a reason why shows aren't on Saturdays. You don't see great shows other than Saturday Night Live on Saturdays. There's a reason. So
yeah, and I think with college football and basketball,
everything,
pay-per-views
from WWE is going to compete against, like, are the premium live events.
Yeah, just everything. Pro football, pro basketball, like everything is going to be competing. Its own network. You're gonna excuse me. They're gonna bump, Collision because there's an NBA game on TNT that night. So.
And that's the thing. You can't constantly change your times. That's what throws things out. That's why Rampage does so poorly. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't see Monday Night Raw like every other month, like, oh, now it's on at 6 and now it's on at 3. And no, that's your time slot. You run with it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So
we'll see what happens.
I don't like this for Punk, but I am glad he's coming back.
Yeah, I think he needs to be in wrestling, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I just don't think he's the name that people think he is. That's all I'm saying.
I think it depends. Like, if you're going to do CM Punk versus Wardlow at Wembley, then no. I don't think people want to. I think people want to see either Punk versus Omega, or they want to see Punk in something with the Young Bucks and Kenny. They want to see them. And I think if you announce that for Wembley Stadium, I do think people would tune in for that because of all the backstage drama. Controversy creates cash, and I think that will draw people for the event.
So you saying that's what I meant. So that's what I was saying about how you set up your matches. Punk versus Omega isn't all about Punk. It's not Punk setting it up. It's the drama that brought to it. So them headlining and main eventing, 100%, I can see them getting close to 100,000. I still don't think they'll hit it. If they do, it's on me. I said they wouldn't. But once again, I think it's success no matter what. I think they're already at a success. People they hear that first number and then they're just like, oh, that's where it needs to be. So if you don't hit that, it's a failure, AEW. You suck. No, dude, 60,000, the fit 60,000, that's a ton, man. That's a ton. I don't care if it's a first time in Whip. That's a big deal.
It is. So, it is. And I think, WrestleMania, not all the seats were filled for WrestleMania either. You could still buy tickets the day of. So
yeah. And it was 80-something thousand too. It wasn't even that much. Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't mean WrestleMania was a failure. So
no, it was a huge success.
Yeah,
so
big time.
Yeah. So yes, sir. All right, y'all. Well, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. We're back to our normal time. Sorry, we messed y'all up. It happens. We have lives.
Yep.
We have lives outside of this podcast, y'all. Get over it. But catch the show, listen to it. I know y'all were missing your AEW Fridays because our Fridays are usually our bigger ones. So catch it back up, and then we'll be back Wednesday and this Friday to redo WWE and AEW again. So as always, on WWE, cheesy. Woo! We got a lot. But yeah, so as always, I'm Mr. MWO in the building. Follow us, keep watching us, keep viewing us, tell your friends about us, and with me as always is Shooting Star Press.
Yes, sir. Like you said, go follow us, subscribe. We're over 218 now on YouTube. So we're growing, and then hit us up on Apple and Spotify as well, and hit us with some reviews because we're going to assume no news is good news. So if people aren't leaving reviews, that means we're doing a damn good job. So
I agree.
But we want to hear from all of you.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
Do it.
All right, y'all. Two Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
All right.
I'm done.